What is up, my brothers and sisters? It's your boy Juice with another informative video. Um, People keep telling me that they're spraying the skies with poison, or it's controlling the weather, or that they're spraying nanobots, or that it's some kind of poison. It's always something different. It's always something new. Uh, I think for the longest time they were saying that it was to control the weather, and then they switched it up, and then they started saying, oh, it's because the mysterious fog showed up, so it had to have been because of the spraying of the skies. So for some reason, all of a sudden, after years and years and years and years of spraying the skies with weather control dust, all of a sudden it decided to come down for some weird reason. And start creating this mysterious fog. How they made it do that after years and years and years and years of spraying. Maybe it finally just got so heavy after like 20 years of spraying the skies that it decided to finally come down and start creating a fog for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and then it went away. So I guess they're going to have to spray for years and years and years and years again for like 20 years just for it to create another mysterious poisonous fog, or nanobots, whatever people are calling it now, some kind of poison, right? It's just like 3 different things people claim it is. And then they're always like, Juice, there's all these patents, right? And so I did some research myself, and I looked up, what kind of patents. So first I checked weather geoengineering patents. There's like 300, I'm just top of my head. There's gotta be like 350 different patents for like weather geoengineering. And I'm like, people always want to send me links, right, to this one patent, to this patent, right, to the patent that says that they can do this stuff, right? They always want to send me a link to some other fucking dude's video, right, where he's like telling you all this sounds good information, right? Unless you do the research yourself like I did, and you look up the actual government's patents for weather geoengineering and all these things, there's like 350 different. So you're telling me that you read all these patents and you understand and you have come to a determination that they can do this and it is possible, and that you understand all of these patents, right? We're gonna like 350 patents, right? You've read all of them, because people only like to send me like one patent, right? And they all say the same shit, right? It's for the use of this, it contains this metals, right, and this, and this is how they put it in the air, right? This is how it works, right, supposedly. And there's like all these different patents, right? Multiple, like an extensive list. And I think it's just funny because people only like to send me like 1 or 2 links, right? Some guy's video, or like 1 patent, right? And I'm like, no. You need to go look at the extensive list of patents. There's like 350 different patents, right? You're telling me that you read all these patents because you only sent me like 1 patent, right? And that it is possible, and that they are doing this, because there's a lot of patents that you're not acknowledging that I didn't even know of until I decided to do my own research. And I think you should too, so that you can fully understand all of these patents, read through all of them, the chemical mixtures, how they, disperse it. And you can tell me with your intelligent mind that you understand all this, and that you can without a doubt say that they are doing that. Because people keep saying, oh, there's nanobots in the water from the spraying. Oh, there's nanobots in our food because of them spraying. And wouldn't you think there'd be like layers and layers and layers of dust? You see it on your car especially, right? The windshields, right? It would always be dusty, right? You'd be like, what is this stuff, right? Oh, it's that fog that came down after 20 years of them spraying it. It finally came down and it just covered us, right, with all this fog, right? Not to mention, it's like, let's say they were spraying and that's why the fog came down, or that they made the fog or whatever, right? Why isn't there a layer of dust everywhere? Where did it go? Has anybody ever asked you this IQ question? Is what weighs more, a ton of feathers or a ton of bricks? Which one weighs more? Well, either way, they both have to come down because they weigh the same. Well, if you're spraying layers and layers and layers and layers and you're spraying dust on top of dust on top of dust on top of dust, wouldn't you think that eventually all of that dust would get so heavy that it would come down? And then on top of all that, the biggest question anyone has to ask themselves, the ultimate goal of what I'm getting at all this is what's the need to keep spraying it and inundating us with it if it works?